Welcome to Tint Wiz number 14, I believe. I'm your host. My name's Eric. If this is your first time watching, we do this every single Tuesday on Facebook, live from our Facebook page. The objective is to share best practices, tip, tricks, and everything that can help you grow your tint business or make it more efficient or reach whatever goals you have in mind. Today we have a lot of topics that I found throughout Facebook, throughout the Facebook groups. So I'm going to give it a couple seconds just for everybody to jump in, because definitely love the audience engagement. We'll also make sure the audio and video is coming through clear, and then we can jump into our first topic. So I'm just going to pull up the chat so I can see who's in, and then we'll get started. If you're watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching this, after live, leave a comment, say hello. Nice to see who's watching, and also get feedback, any questions. The audience engagement has made this extremely fun opportunity. This is one of the reasons why I like doing this live, because of the audience engagement. It makes it so much more interesting, more interactive, and that's kind of how the topics come up, and one leads to another and so on. It comes from everyone's questions, comments, and so on. Hey Tanya, what's up? Chris, Betsy, I see David, you joined, but you didn't say hello or anything yet. All right, so we got about 11 people in here. I think that's good enough to get started. I don't want to make everybody wait. Oh, thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Appreciate it. You're more than welcome. You know what? That reminds me. I'm gonna, well, I don't want to put you guys on hold, but I do want to say the package that what's up, Jacob? Package that Mr. Hernandez is referring to is the tri-edge cards, the purple tri-edges that we had made. If you haven't received some tri-edges, not that I've don't take it personally or anything. Like, I just need a message from you with your address. So whether you want to leave a comment or you want to shoot me a private message, all I need is your address, where to send them to, and I'll send the package of the tri-edges. And then if you also would like a Tint Wiz cup, love to send you one as well. All I need is your address. It just comes down to whose information I have and sending them out as quick as I can. Cool. I'm glad to hear it, Chris. And anybody who's received the tri-edges already, if you need more, once you run out, just let me know, and as long as we have them, there's no charge for them. We originally created them for Tint Wiz users, and now it's just a matter of whether you're a user or not. If you'd like them, they're such a big hit, I want to send them out. So like I said, just send me your address. And what's up, Jason? Thanks for joining. Jennifer, quite the little crowd in here today. So I'm going to jump into the first topics, and so the first one is one on these are all from Facebook, and the first one's actually from our Facebook. And what it is we put out some gift certificate designs for you to use. These were created by Carrie at Iron Duck Designs, and we teamed up to create these gift cards. Sorry about that. Gift cards. You can see the different looks. So what we have here is at the top, that's one we customized for Day to Night, for Michael Powell's Day to Night window film technologies. Then you can see what they look like below. That's an automotive, and then below that's a commercial and the residential. And basically the idea is these are ready to use. There's no branding on them, there's no logos or anything like that. You can go ahead and just like literally print these out and start using them for your customers, or you can put your logo on it or customize the colors and so on. And then what's really cool is Carrie offered to edit these. So if anybody needs help editing, adding their logo and so on, it's as simple as just getting in touch with Carrie from Iron Duck Designs, and you can see it is tagged, or she's tagged in there, Carrie, and also we included a link to the Google Drive. This is where you can find all the original files for those gift cards. So go ahead and use them. Like I said, they're free to use. If you already have gift cards, that is good for you. But if you don't, now you have some to use, for the holiday season, which is coming up now. Gift cards are a great way to bring in revenue, especially around the holiday season where, while maybe not as many people are tinting their cars, everybody is buying gifts for someone. So if you're looking to increase your sales during the winter season, and you're not selling gift cards, you're missing out severely. So get using them. This is a start. Like I said, they're completely free. They're ready to go. You can, you just print them out, literally write all the information on customers. You can also take the file and email them to customers, which is really handy because some customers will purchase through email. If you're savvy enough to do marketing emails, if you're a Tint Wiz user, you can export your users from the contact area, or if you have another system that you use to keep track of your customers, you can actually take a master list of all your customers, go ahead and send them an email with, letting them know that your gift cards are available and they can be purchased online and so on. And you'd be surprised, a lot of people are just looking for the easiest gift that they can give. Window tinting is a great gift, but an online gift certificate also makes it very easy for them to purchase. So you can start selling some future tint jobs through email right now and make up for some of the slow season. And the beautiful part is most people aren't going to get it tinted within a day or two, so you'll be able to collect that money from the gift cards, not have to fulfill the service for the future. And then if luck really has struck you, maybe they'll lose the gift card, forget about the gift card, or so on. You will make the money of a tint job without the material, labor, or any cost involved or having to do it. So gift cards, gift cards, gift cards. Chris, that's a great idea. He said we're running a gift card special, spend $100 and get $50 for free. That's a really, really, that's a really, really good way to do it. By offering a discount on the gift card, you're offering them an incentive, a more of a reason to purchase the gift card because their money is going to go farther. That means that for $100, I can get a $150 gift for someone. That's a huge value because when you're giving the gift, you're thinking about, okay, like I want the person to be really happy with it. I want them to love it and so on. And typically the higher priced a gift card is, the more appreciative someone's going to be. $10 gift certificate or a $100 gift certificate, 100 or 150. Chris, great idea. Michael, Anthony, I will send you guys a bunch of cups. So no worries if Jennifer takes yours. Tons of cups. So anybody who wants cups, triages, or anything else, just all I need to know is where to send them. You can put it in the comments, you can tag your shop, or you can send me a direct message. Facebook, Instagram, wherever, whether it be personal account, doesn't matter. We'll get those right out. So getting past these gift cards, I just want to mention 44 Tools announced today that they are having a 20% off the entire website Black Friday special. Now, this is not a paid ad. We have no affiliation with 44 Tools. My goal here is to just bring you information that I feel can be valuable to you and be helpful. And a dollar saved is a dollar earned. So during this winter time, if you can stock up on your tools for the beginning of next year and for however much you can invest into these tools, better to buy them now and save 20% and get them out of the way and have them than to wait for maybe February, March, April, once you start getting busy and paying full price. So 20% off, I just think that's an incredible deal. And then also wanted to point out that 44 Tools is now working with Tint Keg. Here's a picture of the Tint Keg. Tint Keg is a pressurized water sprayer. If you're using spray bottles, I bet you have strong forearms, but you could be moving faster. So these, I know a little too far. These Tint Kegs are, there's different Tint Keg options. This is actually the brand name Tint Keg, working with 44 Tools to put these out. These are the same kegs that we had made for Tint Wiz that we gave out during the International Window Film Convention rather, and we plan to be giving out in the future. So I know that these are absolutely incredible tint kegs, and if you don't have one, this is a great time to get one, and getting one at 20% off is an awesome deal as well. So yeah, tint kegs are absolutely top notch. So get yourself a tint keg, because you have no idea what you're missing. And when it comes down to, like, some people want to make their own, and obviously, like, when you're buying a keg, if you're not going to make your own, or maybe the incentive to make your own is trying to save a couple dollars on making it. I can assure you that the time that goes into making it, and then the learning curve with using the right like attachments and fittings and so on, so it doesn't spring a leak and it really lasts and so on. Like these things are really top notch. These things will last years and years and years. The support on them is great. The quality is perfect. So, you know, if you're thinking, well, I can just make my own, you can make your own. You can mow your own lawn. You can change your own oil. You can give yourself a haircut if you want. But sometimes it's better to go with tried and proven product out there. Tinting definitely is one that, from my experience, is absolutely worth everything. All right, so moving on, we're going to jump into the Facebook posts from this week. I love this one. This one was just posted yesterday in the Window Film Pros, and it said when other shops didn't want to touch this until the customer washed it, no problem. This job turned into 3 easy $350 each. So what he's saying is, obviously this customer came to him and told him the experience that they had with another tint shop turning them down to wash it. Now this is a disgusting looking vehicle. Obviously it's completely like thrashed. They were obviously off-roading, and I can totally understand why as a tinter you wouldn't want to tint this car, especially if you want to do a clean job, especially if you're cutting on the car. I mean, yes. But something that I always try to remind everyone is you want to look for ways to say yes to customers, not ways to turn them down. So especially in this time of the year, but I think year round, try to get in the habit of saying yes. So in this example, for Maverick, he said yes. Now, doesn't look like he just cleaned the windows, which is easy enough. Like, definitely clean windows, not that hard. Don't touch the rest of the car if you want. That way you can avoid any risk of scratching because of all the dirt and so on. If you're not a detail shop, maybe you don't want to touch the car, but everyone can clean the windows. You could also, for $350, so I want to point out the comments here. Josh said, I would have washed it myself before tinting it for $350. What he's saying is $350 is an awesome price to get for that SUV. And he's saying, I would have did it myself. And the comments, go on, like Darren mentioned, nope, wash it, then we'll take it. Well, another suggestion would be, what if you say, hey, I can take it. If you're able to drop it off, what we'll do is we can get our detailer to go ahead and a mobile detailer to come wash it. They'll take care of it. We won't charge you. It's on us. And, we really appreciate your business. Now, like the original post said, this one tint job turned into 3 tint jobs. 3 tint jobs at $350 each is $1,150 or $1,150. So for $1,150 to tint 3 cars, if you spend $50 or $100 to get a mobile detailer in there, number one, I can guarantee a good review. A customer that gets a free wash is probably going to give you a good review. Obviously ask them first just to make sure they want it, but I just want to point out, you want to say yes. This is how Maverick not only earned $1,150 doing 3 cars, but this sort of attitude in general is going to keep you busy year. So again, think about ways to say yes. I missed a comment, Jacob. You said we should offer an upgrade. We should offer an upgrade to ceramic for less. Instead of $395, buy a gift card, $300 usable after Christmas. It's a great idea as well. I mean, that's just working an upgraded product into the gift card. The higher end ceramic film. What's up, Jeremy and Harry? Thank you for joining. Thank you all for joining. Really love, I love seeing people in the live video. It makes all the difference to me. Talking to myself. So moving on. This is a post from Lance. Lance is one of our Tint Wiz users, and he asked, what do you guys think about this video? Now, people gave their the responses to this was more about the C-Bond, opinions of C-Bond, not exactly opinions of the video itself. So I would rather give an opinion of the video itself, and I don't mean the quality of the video. The video is great. Like he goes, he's showing the application of the window film and the C-Bond, the security film. But what I want to point out in this video, what, Lance, you could do better is the title of the video. So you made a great video, but like we talked about last week and when we spoke about videos are only as good as how many people actually view them. So it's important that your video gets found and people actually watch it. Now in this case, Lance, as of today, as of just about 30 minutes ago, does have 100 and so views. However, I suspect a lot of those views are fellow window tinters because he did post it in these groups. Now, kind of I just want to point out, if you're posting in the window film groups, Love it, but are you considering posting in local groups that are in your area that could actually bring you business? Because I don't think Lance obviously posted it in the window film group to get feedback on how he can improve, and that's always a great thing to do. But what I'm saying is take it a step further and maybe post it in a couple other groups that won't look at it as spam, maybe architectural groups, other contractors, glazier. There's so many actual glass Facebook groups out there that I'm a part of, because glass and tint go hand in hand. So if you're not part of them, like Glazier Nation is a great one that you always see great stuff on. And by posting a video in a group like that, you're helping inform glass companies and putting yourself out there, and you never know what kind of connection you could make with a glass company. Glass companies are like golden goose projects, or golden goose golden geese, because they pay off forever. Glass companies can send you work constantly. The same way, you can send a glass company work constantly, depending, especially if you do like flat glass or so on. Or even in automotive, if you hook up with a good windshield replacement company, oftentimes you can point out to a customer, hey, you have a little crack in your windshield. Would you like to get that replaced? We have a great person we can refer to you. And then once you do get that replaced, if you'd like to get it tinted, we have a clear film that can block heat, not visible, and so on, block UV and protect you on the largest window of your vehicle where most of the heat. That's kind of a nice way to bring it up to your customer, because you're looking out for them, you're trying to help them get that crack fixed, and then you're kind of mixing in the possible future sale of some windshield. So glass companies are great, but what I really wanted to point out about this video is the title. So he titled it C-Bond Systems Installation 15 mil Security, and then there's a spelling error. I'm going to assume he meant to write film, 15 mil security film. Now, what I'd suggest is, think about the title more along the lines of what would someone be searching for to find your video. So what would a potential customer, this video is, I assume, made to bring in customers, so customers can see the kind of work that they do and the services that are available. So I suggest a more search-friendly title, such as, security window film installation, or 15 mil security window film installation at business and then the city and state you're in. That's just one idea, but basically the formula for a successful YouTube title is, the service you're doing. If you can narrow down, like if it's residential, commercial, automotive, like if it's automotive, you can mention the type of car. If it's home, mention home or house, and then the city and state. That is going to best have you come up when people search, because what people are going to typically search is something like secure windows or security window film or security window tint, and then they're going to type in their city and state, because they're looking for companies that, what's up, Carol and Mary, thank you for joining. And Harry, love the mugs. Love you, Harry. Glad you're enjoying the mug. So the way people typically search is they're going to search for the service that they're looking for, and then they're going to type in their city and state, because searching for window tint and getting the top 10 window tint companies in the country are not going to do you any good if they're not close to you. So typically, somebody would search window tint in Los Angeles, window tint company in Los Angeles, the best window tint company in Los Angeles, or home heat blocking window tint in Los Angeles, or heat blocking tint for home in Los Angeles. So you understand how you want to narrow it down to what the customer would be searching for, because when it's like this, you're going to get people that are searching for C-Bond systems, and that might be a customer, but it might just be a competitor in system, glass company. Highly recommend window tint near me. So Mary brought up window tint near me. Window tint near me is one of the most common searched terms for window film and window tinting. Now, I highly recommend you do blogs on your website that mention window tint near me, because it's kind of a double win there, because Google already knows where your company is on your website. So they'll know your website is localized to a city or not. So when you have content on your website about window tint near me, when somebody searches window tint near me, they're saying, okay, these are the tint companies that are in the geographic area of the person searching. And then this one actually has content about the topic that the person is searching, which is window tint near me. because as far as Google's concerned, that's a topic. So that's a great suggestion, Mary, and a great way to get people who are in your area that are looking for window film. Most likely, depending on where you're at, it's very likely. I've seen this done, and when you search Google, if you search like window tint and you go to the bottom and you search, like you see the little suggested, like what Google also suggests you could search, window tint near me is always on there, but I don't really see that many tint companies taking advantage of it. So I think that's a great suggestion, Mary, and thank you for sharing, because I think it's one of those things that it'll just become more and more popular, and the people that jump on it now are going to get the heads up on companies that follow suit in the future. So Daniel posted the oh so common post. November was slow. It's like everyone gets together and says, so I'm gonna try and skip the curse words. The reason being is Facebook doesn't show these videos. If I curse in them, they don't show them as much. So I have nothing against communication using any language, but let's not call them this month LOL. So this is the most common thing you see on Facebook right now, is people saying, gosh, it was slow. Now you'll also see some comments in here. Seems to be that way for a lot of folks, and some say they're slam laugh out loud. Strange days lately. And then I want to point out a couple comments here. So the next comment was by Mark. He said, we at our shop offer tint, PPF, ceramic coatings, small car and truck accessories, aquapel, windshield repair, replacement, car wraps, lettering, banners, small signs, labels, stickers, apparel with screen print, heat stick vinyl, and embroidery. You get the idea. He says mobile as well is offered. If you can't do a lot of services, then get some mobile people to come and do it for you. My advice. So what he means by get some mobile people to come and do it for you, there are always, like, you might not do dent repair or paintless dent repair. You may not do ceramic coatings or details or paint correction or so on. So this is the time where you can add these services to your repertoire. You can add them to your website. You can start offering to your customers. And when you have them scheduled, you can link up with local companies in your area and have them come in and do that portion of the work. So let's say it's paintless dent repair. That's an easy one that you can offer, especially if you're doing PPF. I mean, even if you're just doing tint, you're going around the car, you notice these dings and dents. You can go ahead and offer to have them repaired. You can make a little money on it. You're referring customers to those paintless dent removal companies. So what's going to happen in return is they're going to start referring tint business back to you. So not only is it a win for your customer because they're able to get more done at your shop, it's a win for you because you're going to make money on a service that you previously didn't offer and don't have to actually do any labor for. And then it's a third win because you're going to notice more and more referrals as you connect with companies. This is something you can do if you don't do PPF currently and you're not ready to learn, or you want to transition into doing PPF. Start by finding a company that will come to your shop and do the PPF for you. And you can outsource the work. Maybe you're not going to make a lot of money on it, but it's a great way to handle infrequent business and get into new services. And like I said, make connections with related services. So that's a great idea. Now, with that said, and how great of an idea is, I want to point out Peter's comment. So Peter's comment, he said, yeah, I hear you, man. Shops that want to specialize in one thing and shops that want to specialize in one thing and do it the best are more like a real pro, in capital letters. Tint shop to me. Some of us don't like to do anything for a buck. Guys I know that are killing it, legit pro shops, is these do anything at lower price shops, any services to get the rent paid. So got a little lost at the end. That might have just been my poor reading. I'm not sure. But the thing I want to point out here is, look, if you don't want to offer other services, don't offer other services. Just offer window tinting. That's cool. But it has nothing to do with being a pro shop or not. Okay? So I want to make an analogy with coffee. If you want to go into an amazing, incredible coffee place, is it less of a coffee place if they also offer tea? Or if they offer a Danish? Or as a customer, are you happier coming into a shop where you can not only get a coffee, but maybe you can also get a tea for somebody else, and you can pick up a Danish for breakfast and so on. So I don't think that makes you any less of a tint company by offering these other services. I also think, just in general, like I said, if you don't want to offer more than tint, don't offer more than tint. But I can tell you that the direction the industry is moving in is more of a one-stop shop. And if you're not offering more services, you might find yourself in a tricky position. I want to kind of extrapolate how that can work. So who's going to tint the car? So sometimes the dealer tints the car, right? Dealer's the first one with the car. And we could even go a step before that. Sometimes the car gets tinted like even before it hits the dealer. Well, let's assume the dealer tints the car. They call tint, or the tint shop, or they have a local tinter. Before the customer even buys the car, it's tinted. That could be a lost customer for you, unless they did a poor job with the tint, and then it's a remove. But my point is, dealers tinting cars, if it's not done by your tint company, you can see, okay, right there, you've missed out on a customer, but no problem. There's nothing you can do about it. But the next thing is, what is somebody with a brand new car going to get done first? Now, some are going to get tinted, and in that case, awesome for you. Others might get their first car wash or might get their first car detail before they get it tinted. And when they go to get that car detailed, because it's their brand new car and they're super excited, that detailer says, hey, awesome new car. It's so cool. Congratulations. I notice your windows aren't tinted. We can do the detail. Would you like us to tint your windows at the same time? If that customer says yes, that's a customer you didn't know existed. Now, that's a customer that you can attribute and say, well, nobody's getting their windows tinted, or my area, or the market, or whatever. But you might be losing customers to detail shops that are just simply seeing the car beforehand. Now, if you're a PPF company, I can tell you right off the, like, if you're thinking about getting into PPF, or you're thinking about getting into coatings, these are services where the first person to touch the car often gets the chance to do all these services. So you want to add these services in. Don't be stubborn. It's not fun adding new services. Well, it can be, because it's more money and it's more employees potentially, and more skills for you to learn and connections. But what I'm saying is, anything new and unknown can be a little, naturally sometimes it's a tendency to go against it and say, hey, I'm just going to stick with what I've been doing. And then maybe you even talk crap about other ways people do it. But I'll tell you, this is not a good strategy to have. So add these services. Whether you outsource them, or whether you do them yourself, or whether you do a mix of both, add these services to your horizon. This is the perfect time to get those services lined up, to make the connections. Because when you call a paintless dent company right now, maybe they're a little slower because of the holiday too, and maybe they're going to have more time to talk with you. So make those connections now. You can add them to your website. If you want to sell something, add it to your website, add it to your Google Places description, your Yelp description, and so on. People aren't going to know about your services unless you add them to your marketing material and make people aware of them. This is the time to do it. The learning curves can be killer, Mary. What I really like, what I've kind of noticed over the past few years, which whether it had been around or I just haven't noticed before that, is the abundance of training that's available these days. So what's really cool is, as a tint shop, if you have somebody, you have a tinter, and you just say, hey, we want to add PPF to our services, you can literally just have an employee, or yourself, or both of you, or a whole team, and even if you have a receptionist, you can take he or she with you, and you can go to a ceramic pro training. They're going to teach you how to two-step paint. They're going to teach you how to coat it. They're going to teach you how to install their new PPF. You could go to Expel. You can go to Lumar. They're going to have tint training. They're going to have PPF training, and if they do coatings, coating training. It's so thorough. I saw a post today where somebody was asking where they can get great training, and a SolarGuard rep actually said, how about if I come to your shop, and I train you for free? And of course, the person in the post was like, that sounds awesome, let's get it scheduled. That's SolarGuard going up and beyond. And what I'm saying is, as a shop, there are more and more resources these days, so take advantage of it. Beyond that, you now have a lot of online resources. You have like the Certified Tinter, run by Matt and Patrick from Tint Stuff and Window Tinting Business. That's an online course to teach you how to tint. If you've seen either of their YouTube videos, you understand how thorough they are and how professional they are, and they've created a course that goes a step beyond the videos that they have on YouTube to fully train somebody. Beyond that, you have people like the Tinstitute coming out. I mean, the Tinstitute, every video they put out, he put out a great one today, Austin, or not today, this week rather. He had a great one today, but the one that I'm referring to was earlier this week. Austin made a video about how you can turn any sort of like issues or complaints into good reviews. It's a topic that I absolutely love, because good reviews pay back. And then beyond the topic that he discusses, just like seeing the shop in the background is impressive and inspiring. He has an extremely organized shop with digital price boards on the walls and all the all his wraps and so on, and designs on the wall and graphics. And I mean, it's just so organized. And the organization is something that, is what brings customers in, helps them feel competent, or helps them feel comfortable with your competence, and helps you upsell them and get them from, lead to high priced invoice, hopefully, for multiple products as smoothly and consistently as possible. Having things like that organized also allows you to hire salespeople, so you're not the only one able to do these things. So definitely check that out. And then Ed mentioned Tint Dude. Jason Omeletsky is very good as well. So, exactly. There's just, I mentioned just a couple people off the top of my head. There is no shortage of people who can teach you how to improve your skills and so on. And this is the time to brush up on those skills, and because you have the extra time. So in recap, I don't think you're any less of a pro by adding more services. One of the ways that people would, I feel like, talk down to shops over the last few years, which is going away now, was, oh, you're not a real tint shop if you don't hand cut, if you use a plotter, this or that. And like now you're seeing everyone using a plotter. I mean, for sure there's still hand cutters out there, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But for the most part, everyone's realized that plotters make things faster. And if you know how to adjust your patterns to make them a little bigger, a little smaller, and so on, you can still provide the quality of a hand cut job with the efficiency of a plotter. So don't let anybody deter you telling you you're not a real pro tint. Not true. So what are the key differences? This one's from Joshua on the window tinting business. This is actually Patrick's group that I mentioned. It's the YouTube channel. He's part of Certified Tinter, and then his group is the window tinting business. And the question here was by Joshua. It said, what are the key differences to know about tinting when switching from automotive tinting to residential commercial? Any big differences? Anything I should avoid or look for? Thank you so much. I have only done automotive, but would like to open up my clientele list. So this is a topic that I'm excited to talk about today. This is kind of our main topic, and it's one that I really want to encourage. Please leave comments. I'm going to bring up all the things that come to my mind, and I just feel like there's so many automotive tinters out there that are looking to get into flat glass, or you're doing automotive and you're doing a little bit of flat glass, but you're not necessarily, it's not, flat glass isn't a big part of your business, and maybe you'd like it to be. So, there's more to it than just a customer saying, hey, I'd like some frost in my house, can you come do it? Or, hey, I'd like some tint on my storefront, and you saying, okay, let me just find some tint and slap it on there. There's more to being a flat glass tinter, and I want to touch on some of those subjects, and I'm really excited to see what other subjects and tips everyone brings up. But before I do that, let me jump into comments. So the first comment was by Mark Carlson. He said, have you asked your manufacturer for help? And then the second comment was by Christopher replying, and he said, this will be the most overlooked comment, but the most important one. Any real film manufacturer, like he's mentioning, will give you everything you need to know. This is what separates businesses. If I was to see this comment, I'd message Mark. That's the type of person you want in your corner. Okay, and I agree. And then Joshua replied, and Chris, thank you, and yes. I was more so wanting to hear directly from installers. The main things I've heard is that automotive film can cause flat glass to crack, and automotive locks in place through hard. Okay, so that's about the adhesive. Excuse me. So okay, getting to the point of these first comments. Mark is 100% correct in saying, hey, ask your manufacturer. So in flat glass, I think more than automotive, there should be that relationship where you have that support from the manufacturer. You're able to come to them. You're always going to be running into new scenarios with flat glass. So, you want that support of the manufacturer. With that said, there is nothing wrong with asking your fellow installers in here, because manufacturers are only going to know so much, and they're only going to tell you so much. So it's a different level of support you can get from manufacturers than you can get from installers. So you want to ask both. I can tell you from personal experience, manufacturers see things from a different perspective than you as a tint company, and the best way to be successful is to combine both the installer and tint company's perspectives with the manufacturers. One or the other doesn't work by itself as well as the two combined. So, some of the reasons you might have to go to your manufacturer. An easy one is going to be glass compatibility. So there's different types of glass. There's annealed glass, there's tempered glass, there's single pane, there's dual pane, and so on. What that refers to is how many layers of glass you're going to have and what's going on with the glass. Does it have a laminate in between the glass? Is there a space with any sort of like low coating or gas or anything like that in there to help with efficiency? Those sorts of things are going to help lead you into the right solution for what type of film should be applied there. Of course, along with the goals that the customer is trying to achieve. So, there's some easy ones. Like dual reflective films are one-way privacy films. Okay, that's going to be an extremely common film you apply, and in most cases, not all cases, that can go on just about any type of glass. You just pretty much go into it and be fine. What you'd want to look out for would be sometimes like a laminated glass, because the film is typically on the inside of dual reflective, and what happens is if you have laminated glass, depending on the type of laminate and the type of glass and so on, that laminate can actually heat up from the film reflecting that solar energy outward, and that can potentially cause like a crack or so on. So just like mentioned in these comments, cracking is something you want to avoid, of course, at all costs. And that's where manufacturers can become very helpful, because the reason why you especially want to go to a manufacturer if you have any doubts on a film to glass compatibility is because they're going to not only give you the right answer, but you're putting them in a position where now they have to stand behind that answer. So going to them first, showing them a picture of the window and letting them know, hey, this is the situation, I'm a little confused, or what do you think's best, is a great way to cover your butt. So if something does happen, you make sure you're covered because you use the right film for that glass. Now, every glass manufacturer should have a film to glass compatibility chart. So once you've figured out what tint company you're going to go with for flat glass, or if you're going to carry a variety of films, you're going to make sure you have a film to glass compatibility chart. This is something that you can print out on paper, or you can just save it on your iPad or phone. And there's no shame. Every time you're looking at a new type of glass or something you're not familiar with, pull out that compatibility chart, match it up. You can show your customer, hey, see, this is the right type of film for your glass, and this is the warranty and so on. That also gives customers peace of mind. Kind of jumping around, you definitely don't want to install automotive film on flat glass. It's not always about just how it installs, and it's not just about potentially cracking the glass, though you definitely likely will crack the glass with dark automotive films. But the main reason is the longevity. Automotive films aren't as durable typically as residential, like flat glass films. So skip the automotive. You're going to have a whole new line of film, and make sure you have a film to glass compatibility chart. You understand the different types of glass, and you understand the films that are going to go on that type of glass and what each film in that line does, so that when a customer says, hey, I'm looking for privacy, you know which are the privacy options, you know what they look like, and so on. So jumping into the comments, Michael mentioned to buy an Elite Glass Checker Pro, #1 rule, that you're going to absolutely have to buy at some point. So if you don't get one now, you're going to get one in the future. I guarantee it. You're going to come across a job where you're going to need it. So that's 100% correct, Michael. But if you want to go into it without the meters, you definitely can. And you'll find yourself at a job where you wish you had a meter, but you don't necessarily need it right off the bat. These meters are going to tell you exactly what type of glass you're looking at. Sometimes the glass isn't stamped, and there's no markings or so on, and sometimes you're going to need to know the thickness of the glass and so on, and that's where these meters can come into hand. So Mary said most, not all, have it on their website. So what we're talking about is that glass compatibility chart. Most companies have it on their website, and that's something you want to look for when you're figuring out what type of flat glass film to carry. Is what does their website look like? So you put yourself in a consumer's shoes, okay? And Imagine you're selling XYZ window film for their home. Well, go to your computer and search XYZ window film and search XYZ window film reviews. Is it good? What's the best film for homes? Go to that manufacturer's website and do the due diligence on the manufacturer just as if you were a consumer, because your consumers are going to be doing that sometimes. So, one of the things you want to look for is, like Mary said, you want to, as Mary said, you want to make sure that like seeing the information that a manufacturer has on their website is not only helpful for you as a tint company, but it's actually going to help the customer make their decision, some of the customers. So take a look at the manufacturer's website. Michael said that meter is cheap insurance. It's absolutely cheap insurance. So what he means, it's insurance against your glass breaking, because when you know what type of glass you're working with, you are reducing the chances of you putting an incompatible film. Now, I don't want to scare people off with this idea of incompatible films. It's actually fairly easy 99% of the time. However, there is that 1% of the time, 1% when you just didn't realize what type of glass it was, or you did and you made the wrong decision. And what can happen is glass can break. Glass breaks, what you're going to do is you're going to call a glass company. You're going to have them replace the glass. You're going to pay for it, and then you're going to file a warranty claim with your manufacturer. Now, what I'm telling you is the best practice of how you do it. Go ahead and take care of your customer first, because that is going to let them know what type of a tin company you are. It's going to earn you those good reviews. It's going to earn you those good referrals, and then take it up with your manufacturer. Don't just shove them in your manufacturer's hands and let them deal with it on their own. It's certainly going to, not the way you want to handle a customer if they just had their window break. Usually you can get a glass company out there in a couple days. If it's tempered glass, you're going to have to order that glass typically, so that could be a week or so. But shop around, find a good glass company that you can rely on that services your area. And whether you crack glass due to improper film, or you also will probably be cracking glass when you're removing tint sometimes, it's good to have their number on hand, because sometimes you can get them out there same day, get it fixed, and tint the glass and be done with the project. Customer's super happy and no catastrophe. So what I'm saying is, expect to break glass, but it's not the end of the world whether it cracks based on the film or you crack it, your installer cracks it. It's going to happen, not the end of the world. So just jump into the comments. Harry said they're not getting tint just for heat and glare and heat. So the flat customer has different priorities. They're not getting tint just for glare and heat. Change the verbiage from tint to film. So Harry, I'd love for you to expand on other reasons why people are getting their homes tinted based on your experience. Obviously, glare and heat is one of the most popular, but it's not the only reason. And then Harry also mentioned change the verbiage from tint to film. So window tint, window film. Window tint is typically a dark, you picture limo tint or dark tint for a car. And then window film is kind of a term that's used more in flat glass, because a lot of flat glass films aren't tinted. They're actually clear. So I'll give you an example. Security window film. It's not security window tint, it's security window film. Frosted window film. It's not frosted window tint. It's a window film. It's not tinted, and so on and so forth. I think you want to do both. You want to target people. Homeowners will search for tint for their home, and they'll also search for window film. So you want to be familiar with both ways of referring to it, and you want to have both ways on your website and so on, and on your marketing materials, so you can target both ways people search. One of the other big differences between automotive and flat glass is how much information your customer doesn't know and how much you actually want to teach them. So what I mean by that is, for automotive, people are pretty familiar with automotive tinting. Most of your customers, it's not their first time tinting their car. They pretty much know what they want. It's pretty straightforward, and regardless of what film brand you have, there's a good, better, best, and you're just putting it on the car. You're not worried about anything. Customer either wants a dark tint, maybe they want heat, maybe they want a light tint, but that's basically why they're looking for tint. When it comes to homes and businesses, you know, a lot of times people have no idea what's possible. They don't even know that you can block heat, or they don't know they don't have to go dark. You'll get people say, "Hey, I want a dark, or I want to block a lot of heat, but I don't want my room to be dark. Is that possible?" So what I'm getting at is, for residential and commercial, you're going to be doing a lot more teaching and teaching your customers. So, you know, having marketing material from your manufacturer, that like the film to glass chart, like the warranty, like case studies, like information on that film that you can learn and then you can present to your customer, is going to be important. Because, you know, the sale for an automotive customer is, you know, hey, what are you looking for? You're looking for mainly privacy, you're looking for heat as well. Oh, if you're looking for heat, then what I'd recommend would be going with a ceramic film, blah, blah, blah. But when you're looking for a home, there's so many reasons, like Harry's alluding to, that a customer could be looking for film, like security and privacy, glare reduction, heat reduction. They may need different solutions in different windows in their house. So if it's a west-facing window, it may get a different film than if it's a north-facing window, and so on. In some rooms, certain parts of the rooms may have hot spots in them, and they're getting blasted with sun because they're west-facing. You may have a window that's south-facing, not getting nearly the same amount of sun. There's nothing wrong with installing a darker film on the window that gets higher sun exposure, and a lighter film there. So you're going to need to, you know, think of this more as a presentation, and think of it more as a teachable moment where you're able to find out what the customer wants and take them through a consultation, or if you want to look at it as a presentation. Michael, happy Thanksgiving and enjoy dinner. While this is live, you can definitely watch it afterwards on our Facebook page or on YouTube. We also have a Tint Wizdom audio experience, which we'll be releasing on iTunes, Spotify. That's going to be a way to listen to these without having to deal with the audio or the video. If you don't want to see me, if you don't want to see us, you know, you can listen to us while you drive to potentially consultations, installations, even while you're tinting with some earbuds in your ear. You know. So Jason said, lots of variation in flat glass. Absolutely. Lot more to know, but don't let that be just in any way discouraging, because, you know, it's going to be an endless learning process, and it's absolutely worth it. So Michael, once a customer goes ceramic, they never go back. It's awesome. Absolutely. You know, and Chris earlier had said, you know, 95% of our business is ceramic too. And you know, definitely want to be upselling. There's more money to be made in the more premium films and so on. It's also how you differentiate yourself and so forth. So, you know, how you're upselling, how your shop is set up, how your pricing is structured and so on should be something you always evaluate to make sure that your upsells are where they should be. When people are saying, like Chris is saying, 95% of his customers are ceramic, he's not bragging, he's not lying, he's telling you that's what it is. You know, when, like he said, he tinted 3 cars today and they're all ceramic. You know, that's the difference between that 3 cars being $900 or $1,100 or $1,500 worth of sales, or those 3 cars could be $450. That's up to you, and of course it's up to your customer, but a lot of times it really comes down to your presentation and your setup and so on. So Harry said, this is the time of the year. This time of the year is fading glare with lower angle of the sun and privacy. So, you know, the sun does change angle throughout the year, and you know, fading is one of the probably one of the top 3 reasons people look for home window film, is for fading, to block the UV from fading their hardwood floors, their rugs, their furniture, their artwork, and so on. So those are absolutely things that you want to add to your website and so on. So when somebody search how to protect artwork from fading, you come up, they read about window film, they call you, you come out there, you explain it, they love it, and they approve your proposal without even getting another quote. Or if they get another quote, hopefully they still approve your proposal. But the point being is, you want to learn these different reasons why people are looking for tint, or window film rather, for their home or business, and then go ahead and add them to your website, add them to your marketing material, and so on. If you don't have a presentation about them, you're not going to sell them. If they're not on your website, you're not going to get people that are looking for them. Okay, so if you want to sell security window film, nothing on your website is about security window film. The people that are searching for it aren't going to find you. And if they don't find you, then you're not going to get the opportunity to sell them on. So again, this is the time of year to get that stuff added to your website. Cody, what's up? Thanks for joining. Jason, I'm not sure why you didn't get the Tint Wiz cards yet. I'll go ahead and check the tracking after this live stream. And I'll check the tracking and shoot you a message. If we need to send more out, that's not a problem. They should only take 2 to 3 days to get to you, so if it's been more than 2 to 3 days, then something may have happened. Maybe the mailman took them. So, Jacob, we use ceramic on 90% of our homes when we educate them on upsell compared to our competitors. Absolutely. So, you know, throwing in some sales advice on flat glass. Like when you go in there, I mean, the difference between automotive too is when you're dealing with automotive customer, for the most part, they're probably in your shop already at some point when you're going to upsell them. Hopefully, like they came in probably based on your lower priced film, maybe on your ceramic. But when they're coming into your shop, you're talking to them, they're making a decision right there and they're leaving. They're not really probably coming into your shop and then leaving your shop and then checking other shops and so on. Though I'm sure that does happen, that's not the case. With residential and commercial, oftentimes you may leave the consultation without the customer actually saying yes and committing. And if they call other companies, what you wanted to do was not only sell them on why your tint is the best film and so on, you want to make sure you explain to them what they want to look for and avoid in other films. So what I'm saying by that is, you know, like you're selling a ceramic film, right? And you're telling a customer like, hey, this is why you want to go ceramic. It's going to block heat. You're going to get a natural view. It has a very low reflectivity, which means from the outside, it doesn't change the appearance of your home. Your homeowners association is going to love it. You're going to love it, and so on. Now, if you just leave it there, your customer may be impressed and they may, you know, be convinced and so on, and awesome. That's going to win you some of the bids. But what I'd recommend is you want to go into potentially, you know, hey, so this is the difference between a ceramic film and a dyed film. So this ceramic film is 100% dye-free and metal-free. That means it's not going to fade. Now, there are dye options on the market and carbon options on the market that, you know, reflective options on the market, and they're going to look different. So, you know, you want to be aware of a dyed option for your home, or you want to be aware of people trying to install automotive films for your home, because, you know, there's some cheap films out there, and when it comes to your home, quality is important, not just, you know, finding the cheapest tint. Because, you know, when you educate your customer on the differences in the window film, and you educate your customer in how you're matching the right film for their need and how you're matching the right film for their glass, they're going to be less likely to go with the schmuck in a truck that brought some automotive film and quotes a low price and tells them they can get it done right then and there. Because in that case, everybody loses, because customer's not going to get what they were looking for. You lost the job, and, you know, this kind of sucks for everybody. So definitely worth explaining not only what to look for, but what to look like, not only what they want in a film, but what they don't want in a film. Avoid. So the more educated they are, the better decision they're going to make. So Jacob also mentioned mobile heat displays for residential commercials is the key. We do a lot of marine and it helps with presentation. So if a customer can feel the difference in heat rejection that they can have, that's going to make all the difference. That's going to alleviate them taking your word for it or not understanding why they would pay more for a film, and they're going to feel the difference. And once they feel the difference, nobody likes heat coming in. So once they feel the difference and they say, oh wow, this blocks a little heat, wow, this blocks more heat, wow, this blocks a lot of heat, not many people are going to be able to stomach the idea of going with the one that blocks a little heat, okay, even if it's cheaper in price. Like, you don't want your room to be hot. People are calling you for a reason. Show them how great the products work by having a display, a demo. Jacob also mentioned marine. Marine, people call for marine. Marine, you get blasted with heat when you're on a boat. I mean, they just get hot. They just get super hot. Multi-million-dollar yachts just get baked by the windows. So heat rejection is something you definitely want to be able to display for the yacht owner or for the captain or whoever you're doing the consultation with, so that they understand why it's not good to just go ahead and keep slapping automotive dark tint on their multi-million-dollar yacht like maybe they had been in the past. Also longevity on the high seas. A dye-free ceramic is going to potentially last 10, 20 years, 30 years, whereas a metallized film or a dyed film may last 6 months on the ocean. So those are things you want to make sure you have ready. Mary said we did 2 houses, sold glass walls and west facing for the reason only to protect artwork. The second job was referral from the first job. There you go, protecting artwork. And you know, so make sure when somebody searches how to protect artwork in, you know, Kansas, that your website pops up. It's only going to do that if you have the benefits of protecting or how to protect artwork with window film and topics of that nature on your website. Some people are going to know to look for a window film company or a window tint company. Others are going to search for a solution to the problem, and you want to be both. Solution to the problem as well as just found when people are searching. Cody mentioned thermal imaging is a fun tool, definitely, and what's the name of that tool? The FLIR. So this is a tool that Cody obviously uses. I know like Naples Window Tinting will post a lot, and I'm sure a lot of window film companies are using, but basically it's like a thermal imaging. You're able to actually put this on your iPhone or on your iPad. It's a little like camera that plugs in, and what you can do is you can start to use that during the consultation to see where the heat is coming in from the glass, and you can also use it to show customers how much of a difference the window film can make. Another thing to know sometimes about window film for flat glass, or what you'd want to, you know, is ceramic films actually can hold the heat in the glass. That's how they work. So they're ceramic, they're not working, but the heat has to go somewhere, right? It's not, you don't want it to go through the glass and to the person sitting on the other side. So your options are you can either reflect that heat outward or you can absorb that heat inward. And that's what potentially can cause cracking. It's not a bad thing. You just want to make sure you don't absorb too much heat. So something to note is with ceramic films, the glass can actually be hotter than the glass. Glass with ceramic film will actually be hotter than glass without ceramic film. So that is important to note. And what you want to do is if you're taking temperatures of to try and show the difference, the benefits of the heat, you want to take a temperature of something that's in front of the glass. So like the floor in front of the glass is going to get cooler once the film goes on there, the wood floors, but the glass itself might get hotter. So that's just kind of something to know. And you can also, customers sometimes will say, hey, the glass feels hotter. Well, the glass feels hotter because that's where all the heat is, not on you. You feel cooler. Same thing with automotive ceramic films, but you know, it comes up more, I feel like, with flat glass. Matt, is Matt on here? What does he use for thermal imaging? I think he uses a FLIR one as well, or FLIR. I'm not sure on the model, but I saw he joined earlier. Hopefully he chimes in now or after. And Matt, Naples window tinting. He does a lot of testing on films. He's more of like a technical window tinter where he jumps in and just gets all the different films from different brands, puts them up on glass, tests them in every different way, and you know, like really focuses on the engineering behind the films to get more of a thorough understanding of the films. It's a great, like if that is your like if that's in your like taste, like if you like that sort of thing, he's more of like an engineer type. If you like that sort of thing, run with it, because when the more you know about the films, the more you know about the glass, the more you're able to explain not only about the window film you're suggesting, but about the window films you're not suggesting and the other brands that are out there, and you know, better it's going to go for you. I'm not suggesting you in any way try to bash other brands. It's not about bashing. It's about explaining why this is the best solution for your customer, because you know, really that's what you should be looking to achieve, is the best solution. With automotive, typically you're going with whatever shade they like and whatever price point they like based on, you know, if they want the good, better, best. But with residential, this is where people live. This is, you know, this isn't a $200 or $500 tint job. Typically it's in the thousands and thousands of dollars. There's a lot more to lose or to gain with flat glass. So make sure you are as educated as possible. With that said, nobody knows everything when they start, so don't let anything stop you. Just like we started at the beginning, look to your peers and look to the manufacturers for advice. Tanya was saying almost everyone upgrades after the demo. Absolutely. Demo is if you don't have a demo for flat glass, if you don't have a demo for automotive, what are you doing? Get a demo. Now's the time. Go to your window film manufacturer and say, hey, I need a demo. Where's my demo? And put it on them. Get a demo from them. Ed said referrals is where it's at. Heck yeah, referrals is definitely where it's at, because there's nothing better than a referral, because referrals are pre-sold already. When somebody refers you, that customer is going to be more interested in what you have to say and less skeptical of what you have to say, because obviously they heard about you through somebody that they know and trust, and that trust transfers over to you. So referrals, referrals, referrals. Aaron says, I recommend the customer validates the information the dealer gives them. I know guys that have been tinting for 30 years and still give bad information. All ceramics are the same, even with dyes and pigments, bogus warranty information, longevity of films, blatant disregard for glass type, and so on. Aaron, you're 100%, 1000% correct. So, that goes into like when you're talking to your customer, you can tell them, hey, I know you're going to shop, or if they tell you, hey, thank you for coming out here. I'm going to try and make a decision. We're going to get some other quotes and so on. You can tell them, hey, it's good that you're shopping around. You're an informed consumer is always the best consumer. So, definitely shop around. Just please take what other consultants that come out here say with a grain of salt, and always go ahead and verify with the manufacturer any information, and make sure that that manufacturer is standing behind those claims, because people can say anything and everything, and something like a heat box, something like a film to glass chart, something like telling them, hey, contact not only the tint company, but contact their manufacturer, are ways that you can help that consumer make the right decision, which is going with your company. Because when you have a heat box or you have a film to glass chart to show the company, okay, and the next guy comes in and he has a sample or no sample or who knows what, and the customer says like, hey, do you have a heat box? Can I see if that, like, does it block heat? I'd like to see, like I saw with the other guy. If he says, I don't have any way to show you, the customer's probably not going to go with that. If you didn't show him a heat box and the next guy doesn't show him a heat box, you guys are on the same playing field. So you always want to do as much as you can during your consultation. Even if you feel like, hey, I don't have a heat box, but I'm selling, I'm doing great, you will do better with a heat box. You will do better with a presentation, a folder, a film to glass chart, your insurance printed out, and so on. So Mary said, make sure you have financing option. Not everyone will use it, but sometimes you can have a sale having that option. Mary, I'm curious, who do you use for financing? Because I know with like automotive, some people mention financing. A lot of times it's more like in the wrap or PPF at those higher price points. I know a lot of financing companies turn down window film companies for whatever reason. Even like wraps and PPFs are hard to get financed. When it's something like homes, I could imagine that you're way more likely to be able to find a company to do financing. So I'm curious, Mary, who you use for financing, because that's definitely a great suggestion. Jacob mentioned we win a lot of jobs by using iPads. We can pull up pictures and website info and have all their info and quote with Tint Wiz. 100%. I mean, if you're going in there with a clipboard and the next guy goes in there with an iPad, good luck to your clipboard, because your paper quote isn't going to look as credible as a digital quote. It's not going to have as much information. And even if you're sending them a digital quote, if you're not sending them a digital quote on the spot, you might get sold by the next guy before you even get a chance to send out that quote. So definitely want to use an iPad. iPads, just having that iPad shows the customer like, wow, this is a legit company. Like this company, takes it serious, is up to date, knows the technology. Like think the credibility. Like if you're telling somebody, hey, this is the best window film, and you show up in a wrapped vehicle with a nice uniform, clean cut looking, and with an iPad in your hand, and you're doing everything digitally, versus you show up with a clipboard and you're taking down the notes and you tell the customer, hey, I'll go ahead and send you a quote when I get back to the office or tomorrow or so on. Like it's a different impression on the customer. And All these little things add up. If you're looking for ways to improve your closing percentage, your sales percentage, get more leads, make more sales, and so on, like, you have to look at the details. The things that some think are unimportant are the things that are so important and others are taking advantage of. Nothing wrong with the Samsung tablet. However, I definitely think you should get an iPad, an iPhone. Oh, looks like it got dark in here. So, black screen behind me. That means we've hit the about hour mark. So Mary said, so Jacob said, Synchrony does flat glass tinting, financing. So Synchrony is one of them. And Mary says, PayPal's the only one I currently use. People like it. Synchrony will finance you after you're in business for 5 years. Got the app filled out, but haven't needed to use it yet. Yeah, I don't know if you probably mean application filled out for that type of financing. PayPal's a really nice option because it's something everybody's familiar with. So PayPal's easy and great suggestion. Another one that maybe would be like Square. I can imagine like Square and like WePay might offer financing options. So those could be good ones to look into as well for financing. And then, like Mary said, Synchrony, if you've been in business for over 5 years, you might as well jump on it and have multiple options for your customers. Financing is a great option for your customer. It doesn't cost you anything necessarily and might help customers be able to spend more than they intended to on their home. Jacob says 2 years, you must have a building and make over $200,000 in yearly sales. So, you know, just get in there and fill up the application. There's nothing wrong with filling up the application, and whether you get approved or not for financing, it sounds like it's a very good option to. So financing, and about it. That's about it for these topics, unless anybody's got any other comments. Harry, always worth the time I invest. I appreciate you watching, just like I appreciate everybody watching. I do want to mention that Patrick from the window tinting business will be going live today at 8 Eastern. So that's in about, 9 in Eastern, I'm sorry. He'll be going live at 9 Eastern on the YouTube channel, Window Tinting Business. So 9 Eastern is in about 52 minutes from now. I'll be watching it. I watched it last week. It's very different from this. So even if you're a little exhausted from this last hour, I definitely recommend you take a little break and then jump into his live stream. He is just super entertaining, super knowledgeable. It's a completely different type of show. And, you know, I absolutely love it. So Patrick, Window Tinting Business on YouTube. Also, there's a notification button on there, a little bell. That's how I always know when he goes live. He is expanding his channel to more than just window tinting, which is cool as well. I just watch the window tinting. I'm not much of a gamer, but I have watched some of the gaming live streams in the past, and you know, his commentary is just super entertaining. Like, he's just super soothing voice. He's got an awesome setup. Last week he had some like different voices he could use. I spent the whole week trying to figure out how I could do that as well. I came up short-handed. Though I do think I might have been able to improve the audio on this one. So hopefully the audio on this Tint Wisdom came out a little better than tip. Aaron caught the tail end, checking out Tint Wiz soon. Thank you, Aaron, for watching. You know, a lot of people say, you know, I love Tint Wiz. Thank you for, you know, doing these Tint Wisdoms, so on. Haven't got a chance to use the app yet, and so on. There's not a big, like, yes, it's something new, and that can feel like a big step. There's not a big jump into using it. So, like, using it super quick and easy. It's not something you need to, like, plan around or anything like that. Like, if you're using an iPhone or Apple device, go to the App Store, search Tint Wiz, download the app to your phone, and it's going to take maybe a minute to set up with your business information, and you're ready to go. You're going to see a green button on there that says add contact. Click that button, add the contact, add your first customer in there, do a test if you'd like, and like, you're rolling. That's the whole process of getting started with Tint Wiz. The other thing I recommend to get started would be the lead forms. You're going to see in the menu lead forms. We can set those up for you, or you can set them up. All you need for us to set them up is go into the support area and ask us or shoot us a message. We can set up those lead forms. That's going to automatically make any contact form submissions on your website immediately show up on your in your Tint Wizdom. You get an email, you get an app notification. You'll be calling your customers back in seconds instead of having to check your email, and you're going to notice a higher closing percentage. So super easy to get started with Tint Wiz. Do it right now. You could do it within the next minute or two, and you got some time to kill until Patrick's live stream starts in about 50 minutes. Paul mentions partners with glass companies. You won't believe how many people call them for film. We work with 2 of them. Absolutely, glass companies. Make those introductions. At this time of the year, everyone is slower, so they're going to be more interested in your introduction than they might be in the middle of the year when they're busy, and you're going to have more time to get that done right now. So glass companies, you can literally go down the list on Yelp, type in glass company or on Google, and just find them, go to them in person, bring a folder, and bring some folders, bring some samples, bring a ton of business cards, and you're going to see that throughout the year that sort of connection is going to just pay off in droves. And then you're also going to have that connection for when you do break some windows, call them and get them fixed right away. So that is it for this week. I do want to note that at the beginning, on the beginning screen of this, if any of y'all saw that it said Tint Wisdoms Tuesdays and Thursdays, that is something we haven't announced yet, but we will be adding Thursdays to the lineup. Thursdays are going to be a completely different format show. We're not going to be going through the Facebook posts on Thursdays. We're not going to be using Tint Wiz on Thursdays. I'm excited about the type of format, but like I said, it's a completely different type of format. And since this Thursday is Thanksgiving, we won't be doing it this Thursday, and our first Thursday new format of show will be the following Thursday. So check us out following Thursday, but until next week, we'll be skipping this week because of Thanksgiving. So that is going to be it for this week's show. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I appreciate you watching, and look forward to seeing you on next week's show. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you then.